The Honda Pilot is about to be 20 years old. The last major update was around 2015. We're scheduled for a refresh for 2023. Today, Ocean Honda has given us the 2022 Honda Pilot SE Special Edition in Sonic Gray Pearl. New LED headlamps. We're going to receive more standard features. The interior having room for 8 with your standard 8-inch infotainment screen. But is this going to be enough to go against the redesigned Kia Telluride for 2023, which will have two 12.3 digital clusters, or the updated Toyota Highlander, which will also have all digital interfaces? Or is it better to wait to the 2023 and get the full redesign from the exterior and the interior? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The new Honda Pilot Special Edition receives some treatment on the exterior, and it starts off with the grille with the gloss black for the bars, and on the chrome on the top part it's going to be blacked out. That integrates into your standard LED headlamps. On the lower bumper trim, the gloss black is going to be in the center with ground clearance at 7.3 inches, which will be the least in today's comparison. You will receive the upgraded 20-inch 5 double spoke gloss black alloy wheels, matte black on the lower trim, the gloss black on the roof rails, and on the rear bumper, trim in the centerpiece that's glossed out with the side parts that will have the grille pattern, so it gives an exhaust look. The front of the vehicle is going to be smaller with the overhang. The widest in the comparison at 78.6 inches and a height of 70.6 inches. The matte black is going to case the fenders. If you need it to be a little bit more beefy, go and upgrade yourself to the Trail Sport, and you'll have an upgraded suspension, and it's going to be more off-roading. The front disc rating at 12.6 inches, it's ventilated. The rear at 13 inches. A McPherson strut front suspension, multi-link rear suspension. Both the front and the rear will have your coil springs, the same platform as the Honda Odyssey in the Honda Ridgeline and Honda Passport. However, it's over 7 inches longer, but this is not going to be the longest that would go to the Kia Telluride. This is at 196.5 inches, a wheelbase at 111 inches. Some chrome will be implemented on all the window seals, so it gives that luxury flair with the gloss black to just offset it. I wish the matte black on the lower trim would be the gloss as well, just because it's a special edition, and because the refresh for 2023, it's going to have a completely different grille. The headlamp assembly, it's going to look a little bit more aggressive, more corporate. Even into the rear, you're going to receive the LED tail lamps, but it's going to be reworked for 2023. In the comparison to the Kia Telluride, the 2023 will tow about 500 pounds more. This one with the all-wheel drive will tow 5,000 pounds. The front-wheel drive, which is what we have, will tow 3,500 pounds. We do have the kick to open tailgate because of the special edition package going inside to your cargo at 16 cubic feet. There is a 12-volt charger. There's storage on both of the sides and underneath the floor. You can also flip the panel so that way it has the plastic side for any wet things. Split fold the third row to increase the cargo to 46.8 cubic feet. Fold down the second row. It's going to max the cargo to 82.1 cubic feet with your reverse parking camera. The new Honda Pilot Special Edition definitely gives the adventure styling with this color combo as well. This is definitely a unique styling because of the gloss black. You get the chrome aesthetics, and it just gives a nice attribute. With the new Toyota Highlander, it's going to be a turbocharged engine. With the Kia Telluride, it's going to be a carryover engine, and Honda has put the same engine that is in the Odyssey, that's also in the Ridgeline, and they back the performance with a 3.5 liter V6 producing 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission achieving 20 to 27 mpgs. That's good for a 0 to 60 at 6.2 seconds, which is going to be the fastest compared to the alternative of which I've been comparing in this review. Quarter mile at 14.8 seconds, which is also faster. A top speed at 113 15 miles per hour. So is it better to wait for a refresh, whether it's going to be 2023 or towards the end of the year, or maybe even towards the end of this year? Or is it better to just get the special edition package? Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Honda Pilot Special Edition as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Honda Pilot Special Edition, you're going to receive 39.5 inches of headroom, 40.9 inches of legroom. It's a 10-way power adjustment for the driver, leather bucket front seats. They're heated with the contrast stitching, 4-way power adjustment for the passenger. And the thing that I like about it is these seats are derived out of the Odyssey, out of the Ridgeline, which the cushioning in them, they're thick. So it's more comfortable. You also have this here that you can adjust depending on how tall you are or your dimensions. So that way you can fit ever so comfortable. The dash is going to be incorporated the same way as Ridgeline with the 8-inch infotainment. We don't have navigation, but it is touchscreen. We do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Honda Link, Sirius XM, FM, AM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Switch it to reverse, you do have trajectory, and it expands depending on the side that you turn the steering wheel. Click on the lower button in the center, and that will make the camera like 180 degree. Click again, and that will show you for your tow lineup. So the visibility for the back is pretty good considering it's a pretty long vehicle. The windows are enormous, which you're going to see in the second and third row. Tri-climate control, everything's set here, so it makes it easy. Plus, in the second row, you have your climate control settings as well. You have a storage tier here. Special edition comes with the wireless charger, a 12-volt, a USB port. Then you have the silver look that's going to be around your cup holders that can easily fit a 16.9-ounce water bottle, and I would say about a 42-ounce. You have a little tray here. Open that up, and you have another tray that you can move back and forth, plus a 12-volt and a USB, and it's a deep storage. You can actually fit a tablet standing sideways. That's how deep it is. Steering wheel, it's going to have a multi-function. You'll have the paddle shifters and the gloss black inserts, which make it look pretty sporty. The gauge cluster is going to have a little bit of a digital readout. You can go through an array of information for the driver. Door panels, harder materials are going to be pretty much all over. Memory for the driver, one touch up and down for the front windows, and you have a storage pocket that you can fit a lot of storage information. And for the second tier, another deep pocket which gives you more storage capacity than pretty much all of the alternatives. And that's what I like about Honda. They're thinking for the family and for an adventure. You have a sunroof. We have all the technology that we need. Let's see how I look in the second row. For the second row, I'm at 40.9 inches of headroom, 38.4 inches of legroom. This is the best in headroom for the second row. You can also move these forward so you would have optimal space in the back. You can put them back and you can recline them. And it doesn't recline too much where it's pretty much an eyesore or very difficult for someone like me to fit in the back. So that is a good attribute. Manual sunshades. For the price point, I'll let that slide. Elbows are going to be super soft in the center. Cup holders, you can fit about a 20-ounce. Third climate control setting with your air vents and 2 USB ports. You have 2 storage tiers, so you can put a larger phone and a large pocket right there. The floor is completely flat. So sitting in the center, we'll see in a second how I fit. But so far, seems pretty good because it is a wide interior. Door panel, harder materials are pretty much everywhere. 2 cup holders in the front, 1 touch down, and you have another storage area for the grab handle, plus you have a deeper storage in the bottom, so that way you have plenty of storage capacity for young ones or if you're entertaining any of your friends. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is absolutely no issue, nor is legroom. I am blocking the central air vents, but it feels nice and cool for me. I'm sharing some butt and shoulder space. Feet space is not an issue because the floor is completely flat. Fitting 3 adults in the second row is not going to be an issue, and you have the best headroom comparing it to the rivals. Let's see how I look in the third row. For the third row, I'm at 38.9 inches of headroom, 31.9 inches of legroom, which is the best comparing it to Kia or Toyota. Fitting 3 back here is going to be a little bit tight if you're 6'3" or my dimensions. And it's going to be all hard surfaces, nothing here to rest your elbows. On this side, you do have 3 cup holders and you have an air vent. You don't have any USB ports, but it is pretty much all you need in the back seat for a third row. Sitting into the center is going to be perfectly fine with headroom. Same thing more or less with legroom. As long as they don't fold the seats back, you should be able to fit people in the third row without too many issues. To get out, push the button, push it forward, and just walk right out. Taking the 2022 Honda Pilot SE or Special Edition out for our test run. 280 horsepower with 262 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 speeds in the 6 seconds. Quarter mile is pretty quick as well. When we're looking at it to the rival's perspective, it is pretty decent considering we haven't had a refresh in this vehicle for a very long time. As for the sit in it, you do sit up a little bit. The ground clearance is under 8 inches. It's about 7.5 inches, give or take. So it's not going to be the best when we're looking at it for the comparison review. However, for what you're getting, you see the front hood really well, so I know where my front bumpers are, and I like how the A-pillars are always pushed back in the Honda line, even in the Acura line, because it makes it a little bit more safe and easy for me to see through the front windscreen. 20 to 27 mpgs, which is the best when we're comparing it to the 2022 models. Give it a little go. Stays very quiet, so I do like that when I'm looking at the rival, especially with the Toyota Highlander. With the 2022 model, it's going to be a little bit louder, and the Kia Telluride. As for the 2023, there's obviously going to be a lot more refresh, and it's harder to compare it because this is a 2022 model. It would be nice to have an update, but it drives ever so smooth, and I mean, you do hear some wind noise, but it's not really unpleasant. The seats are extra cushy, so I do like that. The windows are enormous, like I was stressing in the interior review as well. Towing capacity is spot on with the 2022 models. Now, there is 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike, because anything more than that, I'd be buying this vehicle. The 3 things that I like about it is the fact that you can fit 8 adults, my dimensions, in all of the seats. On top of that, it is the best 3rd row head and leg room. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is that it's naturally aspirated, so when we push the gas, we can go at any given time if there wasn't traffic ahead of us, and the fact that the blind spot monitoring is in the inside, so I don't really have to take my eyes off of the front. I can just look forward, look through the rear view mirror. I don't have to worry. Yes, it's a longer vehicle, but it's not overly long. It's 7 inches or so longer than the Passport. This is a 3rd row. The last thing that I like is how Honda uses the cargo area. You have a dual area in the sense of it's carpet and then it's plastic, so you could put wet materials. You don't have to worry about making something stink in the car. So that's something that I don't know why all the automotive industry doesn't think about that. 3 things that I dislike. The front of this vehicle for the driver and passenger is the least in the head and the leg room. When we're comparing it to the Toyota Highlander, this one has a little bit more room in the front, especially the way the overhang is, especially because I'm tall. When I'm going for a long journey, it's going to give me a little bit more of a cramped situation, and the seats for the front don't express out as much as the Toyota and the Kia Telluride. As for the braking in the vehicle, we're going to check that. It does stop pretty good. Turn radius, it's a longer vehicle, so we're already looking about 2 in a part lane, and give her a go. The second thing that I dislike has to go with they haven't really changed the vehicle in such a long time that everything in the interior is just carryover more or less in the sense of the technology. This vehicle is a lot older, and the last major change was around 2015, 2016. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is when you get the special edition. The only thing that they really add to it besides a wireless charger is aesthetics on the exterior. Yes, it is something that makes this vehicle pop in a parking lot. However, it would be nice to implement maybe some cooled seats or heated 2nd row seats, even some entertainment for the back seat, just because you're getting the special edition. For maneuverability, very easy. It has a nice exhaust note to it. Kind of wish I had some exhaust outlets to complement it, but for the most part, I mean, the way it sets, it does have a good presentation. You do have a lot of options when you get into this, because this is the same platform as the Passport, the same thing as the Odyssey, the same thing as the Ridgeline. Honda really has a one-size-fit-all, and they just kind of take away seats or give you a truck bed or make it a van. The Kia Telluride is going to be the most tech savvy in the sense of the technology. The Toyota Highlander is going to be spot on with this, just going to have a larger infotainment. The cushions in the seat on this are going to be the most comfortable. As for the ride going over anything, any impurities at a slow or high speed, it's going to be a lot more smooth and less noisy as well in the interior. As for the stereo, you get a Harman Kardon for the Kia, you get a JBL in the Toyota. This one is just going to be a Honda setup, so it's not going to be as potent. However, it's still good for what it's worth, and price points are pretty much spot on. The best MPGs is what we're driving right now, and the width of it in the interior, it really does feel a lot wider than it is. It feels a lot longer, even though this is not the longest. The Kia Telluride will be the longest in this comparison. In the height, it feels good. I mean, I feel like I'm in a mid-size SUV. I don't feel like I'm in a large SUV, so it's something that I can drive day in and day out, and the maneuverability is very easy. The steering wheel has a good weight to it as well. The lane departure warning is a bit interesting. If you hit the line, it kind of shakes the steering wheel. So I don't necessarily like some of the safety attributes, but I like the fact that you have full round safety in the Honda. I like to thank Ocean Honda for giving us this 2022 Honda Pilot Special Edition for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click the next video, click the subscribe button, check out the details, merchandise, website, everything we do here at Hawkeye Rocks.